Hello and welcome to another episode of First Opinions. I'm your guest host, Fred Rock, alongside two of the busiest men in the business, Alex and Josh. Hello, guys. How are you?
Not too
Doing
bad.
good, Frederick.
Today we're going to be looking at Sea of Thieves, which is an action-adventure game developed by Rare. The game was recently released on Steam, but it's been available for quite some time now through Game Pass and Microsoft Store. I think it's been available since about 2016. So for some minor details on the game, and I'm sure you guys have seen some things on it, you assume the role of a pirate who completes voyages from different trading companies, and it's your destiny to become the best pirate on the high seas. The game's tailored towards more of a group mentality because you have the ability to play up to 4 people on a ship. You can play it solo if you want. But enough about that, blah, 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 blah. I'm here to let you guys experience some of the footage that I captured while I played it for the first time. So Alex and Josh, what's your knowledge of Sea of Thieves up until this point of actually seeing it in action?
I really only remember watching it at E3 a few years back during the Microsoft press conference. And it looked interesting, albeit a little bit boring, but, with a number of updates, I have heard good things. So we'll kind of see where it goes from here, I guess.
And it's been updated quite a bit. I remember seeing it right at the beginning. So a lot of people, that was one of the big things, was that people were up in arms about lack of content. That was a big thing about Sea of Thieves, and they've been updating it ever since.
Yeah,
That was definitely my first. Well, the last time I really paid attention to it was around that time at the start, and it didn't sound too impressive at all. So I actually haven't followed this game since it was kind of a lackluster start years ago.
Yeah. It was. I knew a lot of people that started playing it, and then they kind of just dropped off completely, and then they picked it back up. I think actually within the last year. I think they had a massive update or something like that. But as you guys can see right here, it did the intro stuff and whatever. So now you actually get to create your own pirate, which is kind of cool.
this actually looks a lot better than I remember it looking.
What do you remember it being before?
I just remember it being a lot less, lush. There wasn't as much detail.
It definitely looked a lot more basic than this. I also really like the start, the sort of stylistic intro. But yeah, this is very colorful.
And I picked the grandma.
Obviously.
Look at her. There's so much to do. Is right when it's a little. It actually was a little bit overwhelming too, because jumping in, I was like, oh, there's a bunch of different right here. It's there's a
what kind of monster is that? Just eating a banana by shoving it in his face? He didn't even peel it.
Is that not how you eat a banana? Have I been doing it wrong all along?
You've been doing it wrong.
I got confused because I was I'm not sure if I'm supposed to if this is the mode, is this the main mode or is this the what am I supposed to? So I was just trying to go. I think I was just trying to go into the options here and try to see what some accessibility stuff was. Right here, I found escape is back, and I was like, okay, I'll just turn this on.
So I know you can make your pirate and you can join a crew if you want. Right. Do you make your ship as well?
You can. It's all aesthetic. So you get a certain size. You get a certain size of ship depending on how many people are in your crew.
Gotcha.
So, and the idea is that you can outfit it, and you will always get that ship back no matter what, because it's all aesthetic. But there are upgrades, or there are things that you can get and do whatever. Not for the ship itself, but it's just everything that you purchase or everything you buy is just more aesthetics.
Okay.
That dude stood a chance.
Just being stuck to a tree. Now, seeing a bit of combat there, I remember that's one of the things that I thought was a little bit lackluster at the very beginning, many years ago at E3, was that all we saw was some skeletons and that's all you fought. Is there more variety now?
I didn't get fully I've obviously seen some stuff on it before, and there is more to experience now. But as you see through these clips and stuff like that, you'll notice I do just fight skeletons, and I do just fight. A lot of it is about the sea battles that you have, right? And then you get to islands and do whatever.
'Cause you actually are on the ship and doing that. Okay, makes sense.
Right. I wouldn't say that there's a vast amount of enemies. There isn't that much, but there's enough to go on where you do get your quests, you go do your things. But you're right. I think that they still can do way more, way more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So does this kind of play like a bit like an MMO with like gathering systems and all that stuff?
Um. Expand on that a bit.
Like, is there a whole like? Can you go around and cut down trees to help boost your ship or whatever? Can you like dig up treasure, all
So you
that kind
can
of stuff?
you can dig up treasure, but it's less resource heavy. So you're not like, yeah, sure, you can get wood and you can like patch up your ship and do whatever, but you're not crafting. If
Okay.
that makes sense, like you're
It,
not going
it
to gather resources in that way, but you still need to get stuff in order to like patch the ship or have cannonballs to shoot or do stuff like that, right?
but it's not like a huge time consuming part of the game to do that sort of stuff.
No, no. The big part of the game is mostly just taking on these quests from trading companies, gathering the requirements that they want, bringing it back and selling it to them, or doing something like that, right?
Now, in terms of the islands, is there what kind of variety is there with the islands? I guess because is it procedurally generated? Is it all random? That type of thing.
I don't think it's procedurally generated. I think that it's all handcrafted. I
Okay.
could be wrong, completely wrong, but from the most part, what I've seen is people pulling up the map is it's generally been the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but once again, like I don't have full experience on the game. This is like I've played a couple hours of it and that's it. So
Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough.
Cool.
I mean, it is a first opinions. We're seeing, how it is from the beginning and kind of saying, would we continue or not, right?
yeah. So the for me the graphics were phenomenal. For a lot of people were actually telling me they were like, oh yeah, the graphics aren't anything to like there's a lot better out there, there's whatever. But for me, like I was like, this is beautiful. This game is absolutely stunning to me.
Yeah, it's got
I
a
like I
style
like
to it, right?
simple.
It's cartoony in a sense, but at the
Yeah,
same time, like that's not a bad thing. The water
yeah.
looks nice. You can still.
I prefer the simple graphics myself,
Hmm.
as long as they look good. And these, yeah, they're simple, but they look detailed. They look colorful and vibrant. The animations look fairly smooth. So I think, like, for what they're going for, it looks like they've done a pretty good job on the graphical front.
So here he's like, you need to view your map. And I kept digging. Oh,
All you're doing is like
I didn't
doing
know like
everything but.
I didn't know you had to like so it's like push this key button to pop up your inventory wheel and then I thought it was click the map, but clicking actually digs. You actually just have to hold it, move your mouse in a direction and then let go of the key input and it actually brings the map up and I was like I always thought I had to click it. So I kept doing that. I do that a couple of times actually. Yeah, but this is the first like basic quest and it's just like go find a treasure chest for me.
I
And it's
mean, oh, sorry. I was just gonna kind of go on what we were saying before. Is that yeah, it actually does look really nice.
mhm. And even when you get out into the high seas and you do that, like just wait till you see the water. Like the water is like, it's stunning. Like I have to say it's probably some of the best water I've seen in a video game for sure. But like it's a game about being a pirate. Like they
Being
had to
on water,
focus on
yeah.
water. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much like exploration and finding things is there on like islands or out in the ocean?
There's a ton. So you can actually out in the ocean you can like go underwater. So you can even like swim way down and there's like sunken pirate ships. There's treasure chests under the water. There's ships that have been blown up and you can go and like salvage their stuff. You can then there's this is also like also an MMO in a sense. Like there are other people on this server, so you can go out and like attack them or take their ship over or take all their stuff and burn their ship down. Like you can do that type of stuff.
Mhm.
I take it from that then that PvP is not a opt-in or opt-out thing then.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm like I would be shocked because of the toxicity if there if there wasn't a way to actually be like I just want to experience this game solo and do the quests and do whatever. I'm sure that there's a way or there's something that they put in so that you couldn't just be blown up all the time or have your crap stolen or something like that. There's got to be something.
Constant ganking, right, by people with better
Yeah.
ships.
Because that would ruin the experience for a lot of people, right?
Oh yeah, I think so. especially
So
with
here-
more of like a finite game, right? Because knowing that there's no procedure, I mean, again, we could be wrong, but if it's not procedurally generated, if it's not random, then having something that's a little more finite, yeah, definitely with multiplayer. All right,
Oh,
so yeah,
cool.
this actually
Sea
looks
monsters.
really good. This looks really cool.
The water looks nice. I'm guessing those are icebergs in the distance, or just islands. But even like the weather effects here look pretty cool.
Yeah, you get all types of like
Oh!
yeah. I needed my chicken, right? And that's the thing. Like there is the thing where you have to cook to eat because you get hungry, and yeah, there's those type of things, right? So there is the basics of things, and for health and all those pieces. So yeah.
Hmm.
And then like that takes time, so it's like you have to I'm cooking the chicken, but I actually have to go and do other stuff while it's cooking. It's not like it shows me the timer. It's more like, okay, well now I got to go and do this, and then I'll come back. It'll be done eventually. And I had no idea what the timer was at all.
Yeah. Kill it with fire. Shoot it.
So I'm just right here. I'm just exploring the island a little bit. I think like this is still like tutorial area, but it's just it wants me to go to the ship now. But I was like, oh, I wonder if I can go, and that's the open world part of it. It's like, oh, I wonder if I can just explore this island and see what there is and see if I can do. And that's what I did. And I did it more for like I wanted to see more of the visuals and see like what it looked like up top and do whatever. But I didn't find anything. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna head back. But once again, like look at the views, look at how beautiful and you said like this wasn't what the game was at the beginning, so they actually must have done a ton of work.
Yeah.
And I just looked at it. So yeah, nothing is procedurally generated in the game in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all handcrafted.
I mean, we're getting a little bit closer to the end here, so we got about a couple minutes. Alex, why don't you start with your final thoughts then?
I'd be interested to see a bit more of this. Definitely the sea part of it looked very interesting. Like a lot was going on right there. I'd give it a try. I don't know if I'd go like hours and hours into it, but it does seem kind of interesting.
I will say that as well. Okay, so for me, to begin with, when I first saw the original, it was a no-go. Now it's like, okay, you know what? It's probably still not my jam, but I can see why people are a little bit more interested in it now, and it definitely appeals to me graphically. So it's a hard maybe. And what about you, Fred? I mean, are you still playing it? Are you thinking of continuing playing it?
It's on and off. It's something that I think that a lot of people prefer playing with other people a lot, and it's more for I think it's more of a multiplayer experience than anything.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our first opinions on Sea of Thieves. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, did you like that video? If you did, be sure to let us know by clicking the like button and leaving a comment. If you want to be first in line for any new content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and then hit up our Facebook page. The link's in the description below to see what's coming up next.